Undercover Billionaire. Have you guys watched it? Here are 10 lessons that I learned from Undercover Billionaire. Guys, great show. This is season 2. It's a little bit old. The episode's a little old, but I think if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you are an entrepreneur, you have to watch this show. Before you watch the show, I highly recommend that you read the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Click the link in my bio, my affiliate marketing link. You can buy it on Audible. You can listen. If you're not a book reader, but you prefer to listen to stuff, definitely, get it in Audible. This year, I'm on a mission to read a book a week. And what is it? We're in like what week of the year? 8 week? No, wait, what week? 6th week of the year. I'm already 8 books in. So I've even increased my numbers a little bit. And books are really great. So I think read the 10X Rule, then watch this show. And it will just be so immensely rich and interesting. I said 10. Did I say 10? Because I don't think I have a list of 10 things, but let's get to it. Let's get to some of the lessons I learned from this show that you guys can take home with you. The first one is use what you have. Use what you got. So this show is so interesting because a lot of people have this idea that for you to be rich, you have to be a white man to be rich. And fitting, Grant Cardone, white man, gets, he's on the show, gets things moving for him. But what I found was interesting is Monique Mosley, right? Timberland's ex-wife. Now, I find her story so interesting because there's this idea that black women don't have opportunities. There's this narrative that a lot of people use as an excuse for mediocrity. And I'm not saying that these things don't exist, but if you watch this show, notice that Monique didn't go to white men to give her funding. She went straight to the black community. She went straight to the black church. And that's where she found her audience. She went to women and black people. She used what she had. She used who she was to get to where she got. And when you watch the show, their whole task is they were given $100 in a truck and nothing else, and within 90 days then they were dropped off in a random city in America, and they were given 90 days to build a company that had a $1 million valuation. I'm not going to tell you what happens in the end, but let me just say they're all inspirational. I'll put it that way. And the fact that she had $100 and a truck, and the first thing she did was go to the black church, where she met black men and women who supported her, uplifted her, and she did exceptional things. In America, I just feel like there is no excuse. Now, if she was in another country, there are countries that do not support entrepreneurship or enterprise. Nigeria is a country that doesn't. The government doesn't support it. The question of this show is the American dream still real? And it's alive and thriving. So seeing her create something out of nothing was impressive. Just throughout the show, there were so many areas where they used what they had to connect with people. They used what they had. So that's a big skill. Another skill is this idea that your greatest weakness, this is number 2, your greatest weakness is your greatest advantage. That's a powerful one. It was in Game of Thrones. I don't know if you guys ever watched Game of Thrones, but Tyrion Lannister, the dwarf, told Jon Snow, who in the show is a bastard, and he called him a bastard, and Jon was so upset that he called him a bastard. And Tyrion, who is a dwarf, who has been told all his life that he's a dwarf, right? He kind of told Jon, your greatest strength, your greatest weakness, you being a bastard, is your greatest strength. He said, wear it like armor. And throughout the show, we saw them use that weakness that is perceived as weakness by society, and they flipped it on its head and made it into their strengths. I want to give examples. For example, Monique tapped into her blackness and spoke to women in the black community, right? That's how she used that. In America, it's seen as a weakness to be black. It's seen like an even bigger weakness to be a black woman. but she used that weakness to open doors for herself, right? Go where you are appreciated and celebrated. And that's exactly what she did. COVID hit, and they kind of used COVID to build out their business. They used that as an advantage to build out their business, right? Despite the fact that COVID hit, they found ways to build exceptional businesses and use COVID as a tool to build their business. Another one, number 3, is build with your kin and community. It sounds repetitive, but you build out a community of people, like-minded people. Sometimes it's people of the same race, same gender. Sometimes it's just people of the same ideology. And it's actually way more powerful when it's people of the same ideology. And you connect with that and you use that to build out what you got. So that was a great thing that they did. Build community and build with your kin, right? And I loved the honesty that they all had, the transparency that they had in terms of just being, I remember when Monique first arrived, and I can't remember where she was, and the first thing she met this man, and she was like, I have no money, like she's looking for a place to stay tonight, and look how he gave her money for a hotel. But he was a pastor. But she was honest, she was transparent, and that's something that I noticed with all of them. They say it as it is. They're honest. This is number 4, honesty and transparency. Because when you're honest and you're transparent, you build trust. Back in the day, a lot of sleazy business people, still today too, sleazy business people that don't reveal a lot of information so they can one-up you and use and abuse you. That happens a lot. But those who are transparent and generous and encouraging, who are honest, you get a lot more help when you're honest. When you give people, I noticed, because I know a good amount of very successful, talking billionaires, I'm talking people worth hundreds of millions. I know a lot of them. And a thing that they do is that they build out a cult following in their employees. They build out this desire because they find out the employees' truest desires. And they use that as a tool, not manipulative. Some people can be manipulative with it, other people aren't. But they find a way to use that to build devotion and dedication in those employees. And it's not necessarily like you dangling a carrot to say, oh, well, I have this. But it's for you, it's really in you activating that person's truth. And it's a real deep skill to be able to do this as an entrepreneur, but I've seen it happen. I've experienced it as I've never really been an employee, but in positions where maybe I wasn't the lead on that, I've experienced or seen people use this as a tool to direct and inspire their workers. So this is a very important skill that every entrepreneur needs to learn, how to create devoted people. And one of the ways that you really create devoted employees is by showing your employees that you care about them, you care about their issues, you care about these different things about them, and you really want to see them win. And they are part of this team. You speak kindly to them, you're nice to them, and yes, of course, you expect them to deliver. You're hard, you teach them the roughness of the business. It does take work to deliver. But in moments when you can be, you're kind, you're generous, and you're almost compassionate. And I've seen these women, even Grant, do that transparency, that honesty. People, all 3 of them all had that. And I love that. Okay. Number 5, bring value to your consumers and partners, community, show them that you care. Yeah. So it goes back to my point. You show everyone that you care, not just your employees, but your customers especially. You show them that you really care about them. You really want to see them win, and you really want to solve their problems. That's the key. You really want to solve their problems. Another one, I think this was from Grant Cardone. He said, don't quote me on this, it might have been someone else, but I think it was Grant. He said, creativity follows commitment. That's a powerful one. When you commit to something, right? When you commit to something, all the creativity comes to you because you have a deadline. Somehow, some way, you figure out what you need to do because you've already committed. If you don't commit, well, then you'll be like, let me think about how I'm going to do this. When you commit, think about it. Every time in your life that you've committed and you gave your all, somehow miracles happened. Miracles just tend to happen when you commit, right? Another one, number 7, don't get emotional in business. It's so easy for people to make their business their blood, sweat, and tears. But that's typically with technicians, people that are running their business as a technician and not as an entrepreneur. And a technician is somebody that their existence is their business. The business can't run without them, right? That's a technician. And so you really want to shift into entrepreneur mode, and you want to be able to hire people that run the business. And you could even die like Steve Jobs, and the business will still be thriving and be the number one business in the world, right? So that's a big one. And then the last one, this is the last one, I think we're at number 8 now. The last one is delay. If you don't have money, delay payment. Find a way to bargain with people to start getting work done now, and defer payment, but get started, commit, get started, get the ball rolling, and somehow the money just appears. Somehow the money comes to you. Anyway, that was 8 things, not 10. I think I said 10 in the beginning. Those were my 8 lessons from Undercover Billionaire. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. And like I said, guys, click my affiliate marketing link below and go check out the books that I suggest. I have books on financial literacy that can really, really change your mindset. Like I said, I'm reading a book a week, but it's almost like a book and a half now. To really change your mindset and get you in the mode of whether it's billionaire status, if that's what you're aiming for, or millionaire status. Get yourself out the gutter. This is a recession, and a lot of people are looking at this recession and they're scared, but actually recessions are the best time for somebody to become rich, because there's a lot of disruption going on. So if you have your head on straight and you can focus, you can really activate the wealth that you deserve. And I told someone today, how bad do you want it? That's the question. If you're given all the tools and you know what it takes to get there, and you're just sitting there idle, waiting for it to happen, it doesn't just happen. And this channel, you follow this channel, I'm giving you guys the tools, I'm giving you the theory. Now it's up to you to apply and get it done. And then, like, when you look at the tools, what are the tools? Every person that has earned their billionaire, multi-millionaire status reads books. And not just any books. They read books on entrepreneurship. They read books on business. And one thing I'll say, as much as I make YouTube videos, I love YouTube, but books are dense or are thick with a lot of information, jam-packed. Every line is rich, fruitful, and captivating. Not in every book. Some books are just like, oh, come on, this is obvious, but not obvious to everyone. Common sense is not common. But books are so rich with information, far more rich than YouTube videos even, that to me, that most of the millionaires, most of the billionaires that are self-made read books. Why aren't you reading books? And it's never been easier to be a millionaire. Not only like the whole consumer ecosystem with the internet, not only that, and not only the fact that it doesn't cost that much to even start a business, that your $100 startup business that can make, there's a book called $100 Startup, but you could put $100 into a business and you could make it into $1 million, multi-million dollar business. You can do that in 2023. And you could, in the internet, in the information era, what is the excuse? Take advantage of this opportunity right now and build that business. So read books. You see all of these people are doing this. Why aren't you doing what it takes? Why? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, click the link down below and check out my affiliate marketing links. I have a list of books that you guys should be reading. As I'm reading more books, I'm going to be recommending them. And before I go, I want to tell you about my new app. I have an AI chatbot called Räe Messenger. AI chatbot, I'm on my entrepreneurship hustle too. I'm on my grind. And I have an AI chatbot that I built. Boom. Räe the AI. She's powered by ChatGPT, just like ChatGPT. You DM her on Instagram, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and she asks us all your questions. She's convenient. She's on the go. Extremely affordable. You get 30 messages free. check it out. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. And why? Yeah, you say, why don't I just use ChatGPT? Well, because ChatGPT is always down every time. Especially try ChatGPT on a Monday morning and see what happens. But you try Räe, she's available. That's first. Secondly, go check out my channel. I'm gonna put a link to my other channel. It's Räe Messenger, where I give more information about the whole AI world and the AI space. But go check that out. And it is what it is. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Check out Räe, the AI. And I'll see you in the next one. A peace.